I'm never I'm never really 100% sure if um, God is really on my side or not, or Jesus is on my side or not, um, because it didn't seem like God was on my side in my younger days. Um, Growing up, it didn't seem like He was on my side, but I could have gotten the perception about everything wrong about that. Um, it did seem like uh, God favored the narcissist, if I'm honest. For what in my youth, at least, it seemed like God was just He was perfectly fine with what they were doing, their behaviors. It seemed like that. I don't know if it was true. It may not have been true, but it seemed like it because no one ever stopped their bad behaviors. No one ever corrected them of higher power. You know. Um, so it was very confusing as a kid to see that nobody was stopping their behaviors at all. So, um, there was no God coming down and saying, "Hey, quit treating your kid like shit." There was no correction to him. Um, by a higher power, and so that's why it was very confusing for me. Because most of my life, I did think that I was the problem. They convinced me that I was the problem, and I was really young, and I started thinking this way that I am the problem. No matter what I do, I am the problem. Just you know, I was I was the designated scapegoat, and I played that role to the T. You know, because it seemed like that's what they wanted, and that's what they needed was a scapegoat type of person to blame, to say that is crazy, to say all these things about, to talk trash about, um, you name it. Uh, and the fact that I was set up that way, and God didn't say, "Hey, this isn't okay to do to your kid." I thought it was okay. I thought this was the way it was supposed to be. I thought that this was supposed to be my role to the very end. I really did think that they they programmed me that way. So like going against that programming is pretty hard. Uh, into thinking in your mind, okay, I'm not a scapegoat for these people anymore. I don't have to be a scapegoat for them. I can live a whole new life separate. It's very hard to make that change, in the mind, and thinking all of a sudden, oh, God's on my side all of a sudden. God supports me in my separation of the family and my separation from the scapegoat role and my separation from what I was programmed to be. God supports me in breaking off from all of it, including religion, you know, and he has my back the whole way through from this point forward. It's very hard for me to think that after what I lived through. You know what I mean? After playing this role for them, uh, it's very hard for me to see another life. You know what I mean? Another, um, like a real future, instead of the future of what I thought was just crash and burn like a scapegoat would to the very end. take it all till he can't take anymore. And that did happen. You know, I got to that point where I couldn't take anymore. That point did happen, and that's what pretty much started my change of, okay, I can't keep going like this, you know, for the family. You know, I can't keep going like this for the religion if I want to stay alive. So it was a matter of life or death for me to cut the connection and walk away to this point. You know, I saw it as okay, this is a survival thing. If I don't get out of this, I'm gonna die. There's no benefit of me staying in the scapegoat position. No benefit at all for me, uh, except for death. um, so I knew I had to get away, you know, if I wanted to live another day, you know, or just live, have any chance at continuing life. Even if I didn't have a real future, you know, I knew I could extend my life a little longer if I separated from the family, if I separated from the religion. I knew I could live a little bit longer if I cut those ties, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to live a little bit longer, even if I didn't have a real future, even if I didn't have a great future in the, you know, that had nothing to do with it. I just knew I wanted to live a little longer, and I was not going to live very much longer if I stayed in the vicinity of the family. I knew I wasn't going to last. Um, um, so it was a matter of extending my life a little longer, even if I don't have like a real bright future. I knew I could extend my life longer if I cut all ties, and that's how I looked at it. It was just like, I could live longer if I get out of this position of being their whipping boy, basically, or you know what I'm saying, the crazy one, you know, for them all the time. Uh, I knew if I didn't get out of this pretend role that they had me in, I wasn't gonna make it. So, anyways, that's mainly the reason